Alright, we're going to do this. So it's Season 2, Episode 7, Faith. I missed last week, and yeah. So, I'm just going to miss every once in a while. I'm sorry, guys. But, things happen. I actually really liked the episode. There were points of it where it would have been better the way the book did it. But then I started thinking about something that I had to deal with my two oldest daughters when they read some different books that were turned into movies. Like they read Lemony Snicket's Series of Unfortunate Events or Aragon. I think my oldest, she's almost 23 now. When she was reading Aragon, I think she said she read it like 14 times, and then they made the movie, and she completely hated the movie because everything was just. She said it didn't follow the book very well, and didn't do this and didn't do that, and oh, they left out this part, and that was the best part there, and that kind of stuff. And then when they read, when we went and saw Series of Unfortunate Events, the little girl is supposed to have like this ratchet jaw kind of thing where she actually like climbs up the walls with her teeth and stuff like that. And she was like, well, but they didn't show this and they didn't show that. And I was thinking, okay, well, just kind of live with it. It's a movie. They can't do everything in a movie. And I actually made the comment to him that maybe you've read the books so much that nothing's ever going to be, unless they made a movie that followed the book exactly, you're never going to be happy. So I don't know if that's happening now. With this, I see a lot of comments and things that are kind of surprising, especially when I see kind of the vitriol between people and how some things are said or taken out of context, and I don't know. I'm not here to chastise anybody because believe me, I think I even sometimes get to the point that I want to start smacking people around or calling people stupid or idiot and what do you mean, and I'm like, sometimes I just look at it and say, well, guys, they're books and this is a TV show and they're not real characters, and Sam Heughan and Katrina Balfe are just actors, and it is what it is. And if you don't like it, then you can stop watching. And if you do like it and there are things that you think could have been done different, well, that's just the way it is as well. There's a reason that they're all making millions of dollars a year making TV shows, and most of us are still sitting here working, 7 to 7, 6 days a week. Just it is. But back to the actual episode. I really like the way they opened it with her looking up at the ceiling, at the ceiling of the cathedral, or I guess it's an actual cathedral, but it's supposed to be the hospital. I really liked the way they did that. I thought they did a really good job with Master Raymond as he came in. Everything just kind of turned to a blue hue. I guess I was really looking for his hands to actually turn blue, and for her to see the blue coursing through her veins, and actually, I think in the book the way Diana talks about how the blue actually just kind of glows out of her, and she's able to see her bones and her veins and arteries and all this kind of stuff. But I really did like how they were able to show that scene, and I thought it was done really, really well. It is a heartbreaking episode. I didn't cry as much as I thought I would cry at it, but I did at the parts that you should have. And I wasn't really crying; just it was emotional and teary-eyed and that kind of stuff. I wasn't emotional in this episode just because I knew how emotional it was going to be, and so I was probably a little bit more prepared than others. And plus, being a man. And my wife and I have we've never had a problem, we've never had miscarriages or anything, so we don't really know the kind of pain that other people have with it, so maybe that's just why it didn't hit me as hard as I thought it could have. The first time I was much more emotional about it, but this last time we just finished watching here about 15 minutes ago. I wasn't as emotional with it, but it was still emotional. I was still got teary-eyed with it. I think Katrina did an excellent job with the acting. I think Sam did a very good job. And yes, this was definitely Katrina's episode. This was supposed to be. If you're reading the books, or if you read it in the book, it's all very much Claire for several chapters. And we don't really see anything about Jamie. We don't hear about a lot of that. Yeah, I think they could have been more powerful about the way they came back together, their reunion. But I think it was still very powerful the way it was done. A couple other things I've read about, him coming up the stairs and how he had to stop. He's walking up the steps and he's looking up as he's walking, and he stops at that lower landing before he moves on. And then we pan up and see Claire. And then it's like, oh, so that's why he stopped. It was, he's going to come up and see Claire and say something to her, and he's trying to steel himself to stay strong, and he knows he has to stay strong for her. That's just what he has to do. He's her husband. He's supposed to be her rock, the one that she is able to lean on and to hold firm to. The ending scene where they're at Faith's grave marker, and that's very touching and poignant. I like that. And then on to the Star Chamber. I've seen where people were like, oh, why did they do the Star Chamber? And it didn't need to be there. It was a bad scene, or it didn't make any sense, or anything like that. And I'm like, well, but in the book it's there. And in the book, well, at least in the book, she actually goes to Louise Delatour's, I believe it's Louise Delatour's country house. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on out there with her meeting a French Protestant Huguenots. And she meets this Huguenot and all this kind of stuff, and it goes on and on. And really, when it comes to it, that's just kind of a side story stuff. But he's there to kind of help Claire heal her for her own. But they did a good job of being able to explain what was going on, why, that Claire laid in the bed for several weeks, and then Fergus had to come, fetch her home and essentially begged her to come home. I really did like the way the servants and all came and took care of her and of Claire when she got home. So I think this was an excellent episode. I think the way they did it was really good. I think Katrina did a very good job, and I think, could things have been better? Yes, but that's because I've already read it. I've read the books twice, and I think I may have even read this particular portion of DIA maybe 3 times. Maybe because I think I was trying to figure something out one time with Shannon. But anyway, I liked it. I'm at 8.5 minutes, so I'm trying to keep these things definitely under 9, definitely under 10. But shout out to all the people that watch these things, especially to like Corey and Cass, and Shannon never watches it, but that's okay because she hears me talk about it anyways. And to all the other people that watch it, thank you guys, and I can't wait to see what happens next. Love y'all. Bye.